Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. And we're going to stay local this time. We're going to stay right here in Lansing. Chris Miller, who is the Senior Vice President of Industrial Investment Advisor at Martin Commercial Properties right here in Lansing, Michigan. Going to give us a little bit of an industrial report. Chris, good to have you on. How you doing?
Good, Chris. Thanks for having us.
Let's talk about the industrial market. What are the latest numbers that you see?
So, pretty common theme we've had the last couple of years in terms of our market. Things are staying steady. Fundamentals are strong. Historically high rental rates right now, given the lack of inventory out there. We've had a little bit of a bump up on vacancy just because of a few large buildings that are available, and given the size of our market, whenever we have a large building come up, it kind of sways inventory a little bit and adjusts that number. But overall, we're still very steady and believe things will continue that way for the foreseeable future, given kind of fundamentals in our market right now.
So, Chris, is that primarily what's driving this demand across Lansing is a lack of space?
Well, yes, and last year we did not see as much tenant activity, user demand as we'd like to see in a given year. I don't know if kind of trade tariff situation had something to do with that, for people expanding, just kind of waiting on the sidelines to see what's going to happen. We have not had a lot of tenant demand, which has kept vacancy kind of at bay, and that kind of continued with some other factors in the market relative to that lack of demand has really kept the market in check from an availability standpoint, which puts pressure on existing buildings. With that, hopefully we'll see a change this year relative to some of that stuff to get some growth going in this market.
Chris, I know you're aware of our Michigan Future Business Index that SIOR sponsors, and we found uncertainty is a big driver in people, pulling in. I would suspect you've seen a few projects on the books that are on hold.
We have, and a lot of kind of changing themes relative to some of the drivers we've had in our market that seem to be slowing down. One is really, the whole EV industry. The Ultium factory that was built here, the joint venture between GM and LG. LG has bought them out because GM's really taken a step back from the whole EV product right now. And actually, Toyota now has entered in an agreement with LG for that battery capacity. So a lot of the projects that we were expecting to kind of come to the market based upon that have kind of dried up. And so that's a real big driver that's kind of gone away. What we were expecting is going to drive growth. The last couple quarters have really not. So we really need to find our footing relative to some other large scale type projects that can really drive activity in this market, spur new development, so on and so forth.
So that's a great segue to this new market or the market response to speculative or new developments on the books.
Yeah, and historically, our market, we have not had a whole lot of speculative development. It's just given our market size and the tenant demand here, we have not had much speculative development in our market. And that will continue, between kind of a slowdown of tenant activity, increase in construction costs and interest rates. It's really hard for developers to make those deals kind of pencil out. So that's been, again, a common theme here, that we have not seen big blocks of industrial space being built at any given time in our market, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, that keeps our market healthy because we just don't have a lot of new inventory at any given year coming to the market. So it puts a lot of pressure on existing buildings. And that's one of the reasons we're kind of at the historically high rental rates in our market that we are, because there's just not a whole lot of options for either new tenants or tenants looking to expand out of their current facility. or even to renew into a like-kind building, maybe at a more advantageous rate. So yeah, that's a theme, and that's going to continue with what we're seeing in the market.
Chris, we got about a minute left. What role, logistics, life sciences, advanced manufacturing, what role are they playing in this industrial growth story?
So logistics is probably one of the more active industries in Lansing. Just given our location in the state, being halfway between Detroit and Grand Rapids, being smack dab in the middle of the state, two major freeways coming through. That's kind of where we did see our growth last year, is through logistics and groups looking to kind of move in. So hopefully that's something that will continue as well.
Well, we're all looking for that. And thanks for filling us in. Chris Miller, Senior Vice President, Industrial Investment Advisor with Martin Commercial Properties right here in Lansing, Michigan.
Thanks,
Appreciate you
Chris.
being on, bud.
Appreciate it.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we'll be back.